Hi, welcome to the session It's OK to Change Your Mind. I'm Katie, I'm from the careers team at Derby College. I'm here to talk about the option choices that you have, what you may want to consider, who and what can help, and how to return to HE should you want to in the future. There's quite a lot to talk about, so we best get on. Stepping back from the choice you have made is a big decision, and everyone will feel differently about it. Please be reassured, at some stage in most people's lives this will happen. In this case, there are a lot of people reconsidering their option choices, so you're not alone. Please be confident. You have a level 3 qualification, which means that you can return to those HE plans in the future. There's no time limit with HE applications. And it is a time of change. Jobs will change, working patterns will change, and how we learn will change. So being positive and stepping back, taking time to reconsider your choices is really sensible and brave. For some people, when we talk about career, the image of a straight road comes up. You go to school, you then go to college or the sixth form, maybe you go to do an apprenticeship or go to university, and then you get a job. The A to B route. However, how realistic is that? Please take time to consider how many jobs you may have in the future, how many careers you may have, and think about university and the course that you may study. How many people work in the career that is connected to their course of study? What does career really look like? Here are some more images of roads. However, what does your roadmap look like? For some people and for some careers, it may be straight, and that is fine. So, for example, if you want to be a medic or work in law, it may be a linear pathway that you follow. But for the majority of people, it isn't. And in this situation, you're at a crossroads, whether it's for personal reasons, and that could be due to the fact that you might want to earn money, or it could be due to the economy. So, for example, you've chosen a course and you've realised that actually the work that you're going to go into may be affected by the current situation. Please again be reassured. Talk to friends and relatives about how they got into the jobs they did, and you will find it's never straightforward. So for me, the image in the right hand corner of the screen, the winding road, is one that has resonance. Sometimes you're going forward, sometimes you're going to the side, and sometimes you're taking time out, having that picnic at the side of the road, maybe retraining and reassessing before you get back on into a job. It all matters and it all counts. What is working life like? For some people, it's about working for one employer in one role. However, there are many people now working in what we call portfolio careers or portfolio working. This means that you can have a number of jobs that make up full-time hours. These could be the same type of job, different employers, or different work. For example, you could be working in a bar to pay your rent, but may also be volunteering in an industry that you really want to get into, so you're building the right type of experience to enable you to move into it in the future. Other people are really happy with portfolio working, and it fits around their interests or their commitments for family, etc. The other way we may work is called a side hustle. So this may be where you have a job and again are developing your interests, maybe your business ideas or your freelancing ideas on the side. We've talked a little bit about what career means and about what it's like to deal with change. So we're now going to talk about what options you have. Here are just a few of the choices that you may now have. In the next slides, we're going to take these and explore them more fully. Before we talk about all those choices and options, it might be sensible to get a pen and some paper. After each one, you might want to consider the pros and cons of that choice. However, you can dip back into this presentation and consider the choices that you have and the ones that you're interested in and work through more comprehensively about the pros and cons. We'll give some examples as we go through. College offers courses from pre-entry to level 7. You have just completed a level 3, which may have been a vocational qualification such as a BTEC or an academic qualification like A-levels. Your next step would be a level 4 course. This falls under adult provision. Typically, you cannot redo a level 3 course due to funding. However, it's always worth checking. At Derby College, the adult provision is held separately on the website. It says adult provision 19+, and it offers a range of courses and different learning offers. It has full-time courses, part-time courses, online courses, so there's a whole range of courses there. Higher education is one of the first choices that you may consider. This is level 4 upwards, so the natural progression. Like your original application, you'd need to go via UCAS. It may be worth considering higher education in a college setting because the experience will be different, the courses will differ, and also the costs. So it's worth exploring. But if you want to change your application to a college application for higher education, it's worth contacting your school or the team at Derby College about how you do that. The other courses that we have are e-learning courses, which can be short courses that are relatively low in price and can support you to develop skills required by certain industries or just general employability skills that you would want to develop. So for example, at Derby College again, we've got courses about communication and courses about catering. We also offer professional courses. These may be more expensive as they can be longer and more intense. They can also lead to certification and qualifications recognised by industry. It's always worth checking with careers information and the type of job that you want in the future as to whether professional qualifications are considered. However, it can be cheaper than higher education, so it's worth looking at. E-learning and professional courses, it's always worth checking out the funding, as sometimes there are concessions. Again, our finance team at Derby College can help you. The other range of courses that we have are learning for leisure. These can be free or again relatively low cost. I quite fancy the hedgehog one. It's about hedgehog rehabilitation. Sounds quite interesting to me. So there's quite a few that fall into that category worth checking out. And lastly, there are apprenticeships. Apprenticeships usually start at level 2 and can go on to level 6 and 7. Again, for yourself as a level 3 learner, traditionally you'll be looking at a higher apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship. However, sometimes you may start on a level 3. This is to do with the qualification that you studied before and your work history. So it's all taken into consideration, and that is one of the anomalies with the funding. So as I said, it's always worth checking out. If you're interested in an apprenticeship, you need to be looking for an employer and an opportunity, and again I will tell you more about how to do that later on in the presentation. All colleges will differ in their offer. This is how we describe them at Derby College. However, every other college is worth checking out what they offer and the types of courses that they have. So you have just stepped away from higher education. However, it might be worth re-looking at and considering the different ways that you can learn in higher education. So consider online learning and distance learning, part-time options, again professional courses, employer-sponsored courses. So there is a lot there to explore, and traditionally as a level 3 student in a college or a sixth form, you may have looked at the mainstream degree courses. However, there's other ways of learning and other types of courses that are on offer, so it's really worth looking at. And again, with things like online learning or distance learning, there will be different costs involved. To find out more, go to UCAS and always keep an eye out on the community offer that is offered by the universities that you're interested in. It may be that you want to step into employment and you want to learn and earn, so an apprenticeship may be for you. As a level 3 student, traditionally you'll be looking at a higher end degree apprenticeship. However, sometimes your work history, your qualification and the type of apprenticeship is taken into account, and it can be that you're asked to start on a level 3 qualification. To help you look for an apprenticeship, I've enclosed and attached some websites for you to look at. However, before you do, consider the type of job role that you're wanting. What is it called? Has it got a job title? Or are you searching for opportunities based on the type of skills that you want to have involved? That will widen things out. What type of sector is it that you want to work in? And what type of employer do you want to work with? These all make a difference. So it could be you're working with a large employer or a small employer. Consider also how the apprenticeship is run, the formal side of the training. That can be done via a training provider, a college, or via a university. It all adds to the experience. You will also be needed to be ready to apply. Apprenticeships are competitive, especially now. So to put yourself in the best position, make sure that you're able to articulate your skills and your worth on paper and in person. So practice. Think about what you've gained from your work history, from your volunteering, and from your qualification and experience either at sixth form or in college. There are plenty of people to help you with this as well. So please contact your school or college or connections. Similar to apprenticeship route is employment, and this sometimes is what people want to do. It can be full-time or it can be part-time. So again, consider there's other things that you might want to build if you're thinking about part-time work. Or if you're thinking about full-time work, think about the type of work it is that you're wanting to do. Any type of job is valuable because you're building experience and transferable skills. Also, when you're in work, you're developing knowledge about yourself and the world of work. And you're giving yourself time to consider your option choices. Again, it's worth looking at our job search week with Careers Derby and checking out information from employers and also top tips about how to find work. There are also going to be some videos about the local provision and what's happening in terms of who is recruiting locally. This is all really valuable. I've also attached in this slide some places to start looking. However, the more focused you are, the better, and sometimes it's worth spending time in checking out the specialist websites and job search facilities that are on offer that can be related to the career that you're interested in. One of the options you may want to consider is self-employment. This is quite a hot topic at the moment. It means different things to different people. So for some people, they might have a business idea that they want to take to market. So business startup. For other people, it could be that you have a skill to offer. So for example, a company might have a project they want completing and might need your skill set to help them do it. An example of this is maybe running a social media campaign for a company, or maybe designing something for the web. To find out more, please go to the Prince's Trust and Shellwire. The links are here. We also have a really short introductory course that runs on the 2nd of July by Kick Off in Business that will give you an overview of what's involved with business. It will talk about the skills that are needed. Entrepreneurial skills are valued by employers, so it's worth looking at. I also have lots of case studies of young people who have gone into freelancing and business startup. So for example, I know a young person who studied a sports course who went on to work in the fitness industry. They completed a professional qualification after their sport qualification and went on to be a personal trainer. They are now running boot camps in a local park. I've mentioned professional qualifications previously, but again, they're a standalone choice. How to find out what type of professional qualification is needed and how to study it. The first place to check is the careers information, so go to the National Careers Service and check out the roles that you're interested in. Do they list professional qualifications, and will they get you into the industry? Other things to consider are free learning opportunities. There's lots of these available at the moment. They can be evening and they can be day courses. Always check out the finance as well and use the sector information. Here are some examples of free learning. So FutureLearn, LinkedIn Learning and Open MOOCs. These are all worth exploring. Again, if you've got any questions about professional qualifications and whether they're worth doing, or even thinking about what type of free learning opportunities would be suitable, it's worth checking with a careers advisor and getting some more help. A couple of the last option choices to consider are gap year and self-development opportunities. In relation to self-development, I have talked about it in relation to free learning and professional courses. However, for this slide, I'm talking about volunteering, work experience, developing your interests, as well as traditional gap year experience. The world has changed recently, so this will affect traditional gap years. So it's really worth checking out the type of experiences that are now available to you. You also need to be considering the type of company that you go with and the costs involved. So gap year is one option to consider, but always with a gap year, if it's in between something, an option choice, then you still need to make sure that you're planning ahead, that you leave time to apply for your apprenticeship if that's what you want, or your higher education place if that is what you want when you come back, if you haven't deferred. And always think about what it is that you want to gain from your gap year. Do you want to learn more about people? Do you want to learn more about places? Do you want to develop certain skills like interpersonal skills? There's huge value in doing gap year, but it does need to be planned and thought about. Also, self-development opportunities like volunteering and work experience are so valuable. They can be done here or they can be done abroad. It's also worth thinking about your interests, because quite often they can influence your eventual career choice. Here are some websites to help you explore this option. So those are the option choices. What else do you need to do? As I suggested at the beginning, it's worth going back over the presentation and thinking about the option choices that really appeal to you and making some further notes. Think about the pros and cons with each option, but to do that you might need to do further research. For example, you have stepped away from university, from higher education. However, we've talked about higher education and how it can be different, so you could switch to online learning. All universities do offer online learning options as well as their mainstream degree courses. However, we do have some specialist providers like the Open University that specialise in those types of online learning courses. So again, it's worth researching and comparing prices, etc., and the offer and the support that is available at each of those. If you're going for apprenticeship or employment options, you do need to be prepared and you do need to be researched, because you have to make an application. So again, spending time looking into this, looking into what you want to do, is time well spent. Also think about the resources, using the websites listed to help you. also using people and your network. So again, careers advisors are always a good starting point. However, there may be other people you can talk to in school or in your family to help you consider your option choices. Now's the time to step back, be confident and take opportunities. Who can help? If you're interested in Derby College in the options that I've described, please contact the careers team on careers@derby-college.ac.uk and we'll get back on your inquiry. We are also offering a live careers chat on our website between 2 and 4 Monday to Thursday. So again, if you want to talk instantly to a careers advisor, then please get in touch via the website. Also, if you're thinking about college, financial advice is available because, as I said, sometimes it can be quite complicated, so it's always worth checking out about what is available to you. If you're in school and about to finish year 11, if you want a careers appointment, it's worth contacting your school and asking for an appointment with Illuminate Careers. Alternatively, the space at Connections and connections@derby.gov.uk have advisors that are on hand to tell you about all the option choices in the area. The telephone number is here. I've also put on here the National Careers Service because that is a really good starting point if you want to check out and research your career options. It's a great website for looking at decision making, to help preparing for interviews and for general advice. So please start there. I hope you found this presentation interesting and useful. Thank you.